Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. You're welcome to this week's Forex Outlook brought to you by Trading Pro Nigeria Limited. As you all know, Trading Pro is an international award-winning broker with 7 years trading brokerage experience. And they're here in Nigeria to make it possible for you to trade, to be prolific, proficient, and professional in your trading. And with reviews like this, they are committed to making it possible that you do not trade alone, which you trade together as one with your broker. So we offer lots of fantastic services. We offer for those who want to learn. We offer physical trainings at our #2 Allen Avenue office at Allen Towing Roundabout every Tuesdays and Thursdays by 9:30 to 12 p.m. Then we have, for those advanced students, those are not beginners, we have online training every Thursday, every Wednesday by 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. every Wednesday for the month of May. And for those also who would want to earn, we also offer PAM account services and copy trade services. And we also offer a trading community where we share daily trade ideas and trade outlooks. And before I proceed any further, we all know that trading has a lot of risk, and you should not invest with money you cannot afford to lose. So with that out of the way, let's start off with what we have going into the new week. As always, we're going to start off with the economic calendar. Monday is going to be a little bit calm. We have lots of bank holidays. So London session might be a bit calm going into New York. But Tuesday, we have lots of high impact news, especially on the Canadian dollar. Then by 6 p.m., the Bank of England's governor will be speaking. Then Wednesday, we have the New Zealand is going to have its official cash rate and monetary policy statement. Then we have pound CPI tentative. Then Wednesday, 7 p.m. FOMC meeting minutes. Then Thursday, we have Euro news, pound news, and 1:30 unemployment claims and flash manufacturing PMI. So this week has some high impact news, but nothing major except for rate news on the New Zealand dollar going into new week and unemployment claims. So with that out of the way, let's get down to what we have for the new week. So as always, we're going to start off with the US 100, the dollar index, the Euro USD, the pound, gold, Euro pound, pound yen, and Euro yen. So let's start off now with the pound, with US 100, which is MT4's variation of NASDAQ 100. So let's start off on the weekly. Last week, this pair closed pretty bullish, as you can see. It closed above this monthly high here. If we drop down to the daily, we have a kind of swing forming on the daily, but it may not be a swing. What you might be looking at might be a break test, and a possible continuation. But if we look at the 4-hour, we can basically say that price is a little bit trying to feel this imbalance left here. But if we drop down to the 1-hour, we can see that price is gradually making new lows, but the bodies are not closing below the lows. So that's reason for concern. So this pair is still more tilted bullish than bearish. So for this pair, you'll be looking for down opportunities as buying opportunities. So what you have is you'll be looking for a sell to buy on the US 100 going into the new week. So you necessarily be watching this down close candle. Why? Because that was the last down close candle before the break of this on the 1-hour time frame. So you'll be watching it, and that comes in at 18435.1. So this area, you'll be watching it for long opportunity to possibly gone for 18594.6 and probably this high at 18,670.0. So for the US 100, bullish going into the new week. So for the dollar index, although on the monthly, this pair looks like it might close as an engulfing, but it's still too early to see. Might close as a bearish railway track. Still too early to see. If we drop down to the weekly, we have what I call a three candle pattern. A three candle pattern. Whenever you see this candle, most often the third candle is going to go in the direction of the third candle. Look at it here. For those who might wonder what it is, this is it here. And this is it here again. And this is a variation of it here. So you can see, and this is it here again on the weekly. This is what it looks like on the bullish version. This is a bullish version of it. This is the bullish version of it. So most likely we might see price gone for previous week's low going into this new week on the dollar index. And that is backed again. I would show you the outlook on the US bonds, the bonds and the treasuries. That's after this dollar index. I'll go into it. So for this pair, if you notice, price rallied into the consequent encroachment. If you attended the Friday night's review, you would have caught the long on the Euro USD because I pointed this out. The price might most likely run in here. And you can see this is a consequent encroachment of the daily fair value gap. Just hit the 50 and there was a massive sell-off. So going into this new week, on this pair, you'll be looking to sell into rallies. That's just basically what you'll be looking for. As you can see, we already have a fair value gap here. So you'll be looking for price to probably fill it, most likely higher, and move back to the downside. First target is going to be previous week's low. Then if price gets very animated, you're going to be going for 103.88. Now let me just briefly go into the bonds. So this is the 5-year futures note for the US. This is inversely related to the US dollar. What that means is that if this is moving up, the dollar index is going to be moving down. Then this is the bonds. The bonds is directly related to the US dollar. If you have bearish bonds, you're going to have bearish US dollar. And if you look at this, although this is closing bullish, but it's closing into a range that it has broken out of. If you notice, we have this and this. So this is a daily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The master candle on the daily. The breakout of that range, you're going to have something like it. So this is most likely going to be a rally to move lower. This other block here has been removed by price, so which means most likely this next other block is the target before this. So based off this, we are not going to see bullish dollar anytime soon. So that out of the way. So basically what that means is that we're going to be looking for bullish Euro USD going into the new week. As you can see, closed bullish, but didn't close above this previous high at 1.0885. So that means that going into next week, early next week, we might see a bit of a retracement before a move higher. And if you notice, as the dollar hits its consequent encroachment, so did the Euro USD. And that was the sharp rally. So if we go down now to the 4-hour time frame, we can see we have this candle pattern here. So remember that candle pattern is a bearish pattern. It doesn't mean when you see it, you take it blindly. You need to be sure of the context before you take it. So we now have this bullish. So this may fill in, there's a fair value gap here. If I pull back my indicators and see it's a big fair value gap. So this may retrace, then continue back to the upside. Can we all still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me continue.
Yes.
So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the GBPUSD. So we're going to start from the weekly on this pair. This pair closed heavy bullish, which points to the fact that although it's at a fair value gap on the weekly, you don't want to be taking a long position here. We drop down to the 4-hour time daily. We have this candle pattern on the daily. Well, it's close to a high. So what I will be watching next week is a retracement. Retracement, because you can see there's already a fair value gap here. Retracement into this fair value and a continuation to the upside. So that's what we'll be watching for next week. This pair is bullish as long as we don't get the 4-hour close below 26.43. If we get the 4-hour close below 26.43, what that means is that we have a false break to the upside and we might see lower prices.
Is it NZD?
No, this is GBPUSD.
Okay.
At the end of the scheduled review, you could raise up pairs you want me to look at. I'll just briefly look at them and give you my outlook. Gold is going for 23, 24, 31 most likely. But it might retrace because we have a break and there has been no retracement to fill the imbalance created by this expansion out of this range between this high to this low. I'm using the 4-hour time frame, but let's start off at the weekly. Let me hide everything. So the weekly, bullish on the weekly, the daily, 3-candle pattern. Do you see it? It works. Just what you just need to do is know your context. 3 expansion, the same. So most likely you're gonna have an expansion above this high. So for going into this new week, you'll be looking for a retracement and a move higher. So if you look at this, we have this fair value gaps here that price may try to move down into. As you can see, we had a rejection from that created this high here. So we might see a bit of a move and a continuation to the upside. So going into the new week, gold is still bullish for now. The euro yen, next pair we're going to be looking at is euro yen. This pair is still bearish. Just looking at it, you can see it's making new lows. This bearish order block here has been removed by price. So which points most likely that we're going to see lower moves. We have this low here, and this series of lows here. But this
Sorry,
pair,
euro yen or euro GBP?
sorry, euro pound, sorry, euro pound. This pair is notorious for being very, if you look at the candles, it's like what I call fishbone. When you look at a pair and you have this kind of formation, that pair is notorious for spikes. So you just need to be careful. Why I look at this pair is this pair gives me a bias as to the direction of the pair I will trade against the dollar index. So since I know we're having a weak euro, I'll be looking for pound longs. Pound longs, that's GBPUSD longs, will pay better and across the board. So if you have a weak major pair, like now, if you're looking at GBPAUD, if you have a weak AUD, because of the weakness of the euro pound, you'll be best buying GBPAUD instead of euro AUD. So that's what I use this. I use this as a guide. So since I have a weak, because this low failed to make a new high, so which means most likely this low at 85.33 is target going into this new week first. Then after that, we have 85.20. So for this pair, any rally is going to be an opportunity for a short. So next we're going to be looking at is the pound yen. This pair is still very bullish. Still very, very bullish. Anybody trying to sell it is going to have a very, very nasty experience. Because most likely it's trying to feel this. This is what it's trying to feel. As where I see it. I don't trade this pair, but I run analysis on it. So most likely it's trying to. It hasn't made a new low. If we go down to the daily, this was a sharp retracement, and this is a continuation. So looking at this pair, most likely, and if you notice, I pointed out this range candle last week, this candle here. If you notice, price has broken out of this candle's range with this close. So what that means technically is you're going to have something like this. You're going to have this high to this point. Then you're going to project this up. So most likely you're going to see price run for no, this is where I normally do it so that I get the midpoint first. I use this, get the midpoint. Because most times it might not do the complete range, it might just do the midpoint. So first you're going to see price come for 200. Then after that, you're going to see price come for 203. So that's my outlook on this pair. So for this pair, any down move is going to be an opportunity for a long. That's just it for this pair. The same goes for the euro yen. If you notice, because of that weakness on the euro pound, you see this, you see the way this is moving, and you see the way this is kind of sideways. This has not made a new high, while this has made a new high above this area. So that shows you that if you're going to be selling the yen, you're better buying euro pound yen than trying to buy euro yen. So going into this new week, this pair is also still bullish. It's still bullish. I don't see any this on this side. So this might be trying to make a new high above this level. That's 1716. And so if they have a fib projection on from this low to this point, so most likely this pair might be going for 17390. 17319. So if we go to the weekly, you see that candle formation because of the weakness on the euro pound. This did not move above this high, but you can see it was a little bit bullish. So going into this new week, any down move that does not close below 16401 is going to be an opportunity for a long. That's on the daily, but on the 4-hour, once you get a close below 167.38, then that means it's going to continue lower. So that means what you have, depending on what price does here. But once you get a close below this, you'll be waiting for something like this. So that's it. Is there anybody who want me to look at before we call it a night?
AUDUSD.
AUDUSD. Let's look at AUDUSD. 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 Start from the monthly. Looking at this from the monthly, it's gone above previous month's high. We look at this here. You can see price just came down to almost to the midpoint of this before rallying back up. So we'll go to the weekly. If we go to the weekly, there's a range here. There's a range candle here. We have this high and this point. So you can see false break to the downside. Now price is now back above here. I'll go down to the daily. Oh, there's something here. 3 candle pattern. This is going to move higher. This is going to move higher, probably into this point. So this is bullish. So going into the new week, what you'll be doing is you'll be watching this area here. Let me put in my indicators. You're going to be watching this area here, this point to this point. This is what you'll be watching. And even the daily has a 3 candle pattern. The daily has a 3 candle pattern. So that means that even if they retrace, it's going to go up. This pair is bullish for now. So you'll be waiting for a retracement and they move up to either 67.34 and 67.74. So this pair is bullish. But just like you have Euro GBP, most people don't also know you have the same for the Aussie. You have the AUD, and we have the AUD. We have the AUD and ZD. AUD and ZD. So you look at this. So if you look at this, we can see that the AUD is showing signs of weakness. Well, if I'm to box this, the possibility exists that it might continue his bullish run very soon. So for now, going into next week, we might see major strength on the AUD than the NZD USD. So let's look, see if we have NZD USD. Do I have NZD USD here? No, let me add it. NZD USD. NZD USD, NZD USD, NZD USD. We don't have by Saxo. Okay, where is it? So if we look at this, let's see what we have here. So if you look at this now, and where's the USD? Yeah. So if you compare this, because see, this is just basically making his new high. But if you look at this is at this point. So this might just be a retracement. So going by what we have on AUD and NZD, the possibility exists that AUD will be a better option than NZD longs against the dollar. Any other pair anybody want me to look at? So for your AUD and NZD is bullish. You'll be looking for retracements to go long. Because one, price has swept this high. The possibility exists that you might see a bit of a retracement before a continuation to the upside. Any other pair? Any pair anybody else want me to look at before we call it the night?
Euro NZD.
EURZD. That is a not traded. I don't trade them, but I'll run the analysis. Well, as always, this is bearish. I think I did a review on this pair. So most likely, with the euro weakness continuing and NZD strength about to be a little bit shaky, if you're to sell, it's better you sell this one than trying to sell GBP NZD. So for this pair, wait for a retracement and a move lower, because where this pair is, we have this point to this point. You see, it's at the equilibrium. So you wait for a retracement into this fair value gap to take a shot. You don't want to take a shot where it is now, or that's for the daily. But if you drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you have a smaller range. So you'll be waiting for this point to this point. That is between you'll be starting 177.40 to 178.10. So this is what you'll be waiting for here. A move in here and a move lower. And if it starts, you'll be watching this low first, this series of lows before 76.23, before 76.27. So in the absence of any other pair, I think we're going to call it a night. So don't forget, by next week, we're going to be having daily end of session review by 10 p.m. And we're going to also be having New York session recap. What that means is that what we've done for the previous day, we're going to have a recap by 10 p.m., 10 a.m. the following morning, so that we see how it has played out and plan against for the New York session. So it's 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. every day. So in the absence of any other question, I think we're going to, or is there any other anybody want me to call? Because my time is almost up.
You said that is a question that I want to ask.
Go ahead.
I remember you said in the introduction of this class that there is an advanced class on Wednesdays
Yes.
from 8:30. So I'm wondering because it's
It's on
like maybe
it's Zoom.
because of your busy schedule.
No, it's on
Okay,
Zoom.
so we've not been seeing the link for a while now. So I felt
Okay.
maybe because you
I'll
are
be making the link. They've made me head market analysis. So most times I'm a little bit
okay.
engaged. So but going into this new week, I'll be making the reviews, the link available. Any other
Okay,
question?
thank you.
Any other question? Or any other pair? So in the absence of that, I wish everybody a lovely Sunday ahead and a blessed and wonderful trading week. Good night,
Okay,
everybody.
we
Thank
wish you
you.
the same. Good night.